Anywho, Erin, good to
Oh,
see you.
yes. So the last time we talked, we were getting ready for you to come to Greensboro, and I was super excited to talk to you. And then all of a sudden, hell broke loose, and like all the weather and all that crap. So yeah.
I know that was a crazy month. I think we had to cancel the first 8 shows of the tour because of the ice storm. So that was a rough start.
Yeah, and you were doing construction or something at the house too. So there was like 18 things going on at
There
once.
was, there was a man walking by me every 2 seconds, and I was like, "Oh my God, this is a really bad day." But I'm
It
glad
could
we
be
could.
worse. At least he was fully clothed. So there was that.
That's true. That's very true.
So, okay, so now we're wrapping up the tour. You're finishing it out in Greensboro.
Yep.
So anything crazy, because of the last time I asked, I was like, I know you've had some probably interesting experiences on tour so far, but now we're wrapping it up. Any interesting experiences with folks in the crowd?
Oh gosh. I think the next time I do a tour, I'm not going to name it something like the Buck Wild tour. I think that draws in the crazies. I think I'm going to name it the Peaceful tour, or please shut the hell up and remain in your seat during the show tour. Something like that, because yeah, when I put the word Buck Wild on the tour name, I didn't realize that that was going to give people the liberty to absolutely be rambunctious. But
Okay.
yeah, I've noticed a massive shift in the energy of my crowds from being the first time tour, which was my first tour, to now the Buck Wild tour. But I love it. It's definitely strengthened my crowd work muscle, because when somebody is acting crazy, you have to acknowledge them during the show. So
Oh
that
yeah,
that's
I was
been
gonna
strengthened.
say you have like a lot of interaction with folks in the crowd. So I was gonna say that had to be, well, especially now, kind of interesting.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I wasn't very sure of myself on the first tour when it came to crowd work, because it was my first time doing stand up. So I was just trying to like really hone in my craft of actually getting through an hour of a show delivering jokes. And now I feel like a good friend of mine who's been doing comedy for like 13 years, he opened for me the other day and he was like, Danae, your crowd work has gotten so much better since last year. And I'm like, well, that's because it had to. I have to now acknowledge, the Buckwild fans.
Oh yeah. Well, what was it? You just posted something with your girlfriend, and what did you say? I'm in the business of
Oh, I'm in the business of teaching a lesson. Usually I was yeah, usually I was in the business of being a blessing, but now I'm in the business of teaching a lesson.
yes, yes. So yeah, don't be hollering at her booty. So yeah.
And Jen, my girlfriend, she is very calm. She does not like confrontation. And usually I don't either. But this guy, he just made a point. He was gonna look at her butt the whole time we walked by. And I was like, this is so uncomfortable. I'm gonna say something to him. I've learned my lesson. I don't need to be doing that anymore because people are crazy and we don't need to deal with crazies.
Yeah. Okay, so with some of the songs, like one of my favorites, what you have in your nightstand, I did notice a little girl interviewing you on the red carpet at the ACMs, and I was like, oh, I think she almost had you speechless there for a second.
Yeah, Erin, I didn't know what to say. She was like, "So, Danae, what's in your nightstand?" And I was like, "Well, I have a Bible." Um,
Hmm.
I was like, "I have pen and paper, so when I think of a funny joke late at night, I can write it down." And I know that her name is Ella, the little girl, and I know her parents, Dylan and Emily, and I know them really well. And I was like, "I'm gonna whoop y'all's butt for putting me on the spot like that," because I know y'all are the ones who told her to ask me that.
Oh yeah. Well, and speaking of your songs, now is there, when you write them, is there anybody that, like, say, country star that you would like to maybe incorporate, or have them do one of those with you
Oh
at
God.
some point?
Yeah, I feel like, when these artists are signed to a label in town, you don't really have the freedom to get them on a song that maybe they feel like would not be appropriate for country
Mhm.
radio. So I would love to do a song with Lainey Wilson. We would just need to find a way to like make it tongue in cheek and not so, over the head.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, Lainey, I think Lainey and I's audience, she's really, really funny. I don't know if people really know that about her, but she is like exceptionally funny. So I think between her and I, if we could get in the room with some of her writers, I think we could come up with something good.
Yeah. Good. See, and that was going to be my next question. Is there, because I've seen little things with Lainey and where I'm like, oh, okay, she's got a little something,
Yeah.
Where is there any other country star that has a really keen sense of humor that might actually surprise people besides maybe Lainey?
I think Ella Langley. I met Ella 2 years ago at the People's Choice Awards. She sat right in front of me and she turned around and at the time I was going through a divorce and she was like, "Hey, hate to hear that about it, you know." And I was like, "Oh, it's okay." I was like, "But let me tell you something, sister. You want to steer clear of a divorce. That they're painful." And she turned around and she said, "Well, girl, I probably got three of those lined up in my future." And then she just turned back around and her and I have been really good friends ever since then. And yeah, she surprised me. She's very quick witted, very like on it. And I don't think people know that about her yet. I'm sure they'll discover that about her, the more they listen to her music and watch her interviews. But yeah, she's got a sharp wit about her.
Yes, and a sharp tongue because, like, I've only met her once, and it was backstage at the Morgan Wallen show in Alabama. And she came back there and she said something about like, "Oh yeah, well I got bruises up here and shit." And I was like, "Okay," and you cussed too, and I like that. So
Yeah, she, we're both from Alabama. I think that's why we're good friends, is because we got like inside jokes. We grew up very similar. But yeah, she's funny as hell.
yeah, little spitfire, you gotta love that. Yeah. Now after the tour wraps up, what are we thinking? What's going to happen? What's next? What are because I said you need to get yourself a Netflix special. Like, what do we got going?
Yeah, well, right now, this summer, I have some songs that I want to put out this summer that are just like some really fun summer anthems that I've been holding on to since last year. I've just been waiting for the weather to get warm and hot because they're the type of songs you want to blast on a boat. And then I just wrote a pilot for a Southern sitcom. So I'm pitching that to a bunch of different production teams out in LA. I've had like 3 or 4 meetings out there since writing it. So that one's in the pipeline. We'll see what God wants to do with that one. But
Now,
that,
is this kind of like what we talked about? I feel like we touched on this before. Is this kind of like the recreation of like a hee haw kind of thing?
yeah, it's a little. That was the original idea, but it's kind of spun off from that. I would say if you had to compare it to anything, it's Roseanne meets Schitt's Creek. It's
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there's a lot of blue collar, like dysfunctional family. Like that's like the nucleus of it, is a very
Yeah.
blue collar dysfunctional family, and then there's also a lot of charm and a lot of compassion, which is why I think Schitt's Creek is a good example to it. But yeah, I just went and saw my family this weekend in Alabama. My grandmother, she owns and works a fireworks store, and it's in a single wide trailer in Warrior, Alabama. And I sat in there with her and I helped her for a couple of hours. She's got a really bad back, so I was running around helping customers, and they were coming in telling me it was like free therapy for them. It was like buy fireworks while also getting a free therapy session. And then at the end of like 3 or 4 different customers' therapy session, they would all look at me and they'd be like, "You look just like that Danae Hays girl on TikTok or Facebook." And I'd be like, "Yeah, that's me." And then they'd be like, "What are you doing selling fireworks in Warrior, Alabama?"
Uh,
So the sitcom is very much like that. It's just people in small town USA.
Yes, I love that. So okay, so we're going to see you in Greensboro, wrapping up your tour on the 29th and 30th. So here in just a couple of days, it's going to be at the Comedy Zone. Anything else that we have on the horizon that we should know about
Oh
besides?
man. Well, I would say more tour dates to come. The
Mhm.
Buck Wild tour, this is just the first leg, so we'll be announcing more show dates. Should be September, October, and November. But yeah, we're just in full throttle mode with touring. I want to say I did 150 shows on the first time tour. So we like really squeezed every drop of lemon juice out of that lemon. And We're going to be doing the same thing with the Buck Wild tour.
And at some point, maybe take a little breather and do a little vacay.
Yeah, we might be doing that. I got some fun news. I might be purchasing a house soon. And it just depends on a couple, you got to go through the home inspection. You got to go through that. So that'll be really fun. It's in a very serene part of the South,
Okay.
overlooking a beautiful lake. So that'll
I
be
was
where
gonna say, is it another farm? Because didn't you have a farm before?
girl, I ain't buying another damn farm. I got a 34-year-old horse right now that I board, and I love living out in the woods. Like I love that part, but I would say 90% of that farm was pasture, so I had to cut it. If I
Oh,
ever buy a farm, it's going to be a bunch of wooded areas, something that I don't have to mow.
okay. Yeah, I feel you there. God bless. No.
It took me 2 days to mow that son of a gun.
And
Yeah.
then do you just leave it? Like, or do you have to then like rake the stuff up?
No, you leave it, and then in about 5 days, you do it again.
Ugh,
Yeah.
no.
I was like, I don't know if that
I
kind of
don't even know how you would have time for that. I don't have time to wipe my butt anymore. Like, I don't know how you would,
I have no idea. All I was doing was touring and cutting grass. That was it.
Yeah. Well, it is so great to talk to you. I'm so glad that you're making it back through, and I know everybody's excited to see you. So, yes.
What's time I was in Greensboro, which I think was 2024. I think it was like February of 2024. I looked over and I saw it, if it is called Arizona Pete's, and it looks just like my hometown strip club, which is called Wesley's Booby Trap, and it was in a double wide trailer.
No.
Yes, it's closed up since then. Get this, Erin. A church has bought the strip club not because they want to use it for anything, but they just didn't want that in their part of the woods. So they bought the strip club just to make sure nobody's in there shaking their butt.
You know what? Just, Jesus said so.
Because Jesus said so. Amen, sister. Erin, I had such a good time talking to you too. And if you end up wanting to come out this weekend, just let Audrey and my team know, and we'll make sure we get you some tickets.
Okay, awesome. Yeah.
I told my team one time back in 2024 when we were first booking the tour, they were like, "Where do you think your biggest audience is?" And I was like, "Well, let me look on socials." And I looked at all my demographics, and for every single social media account, TikTok, Facebook, and Instagram, the number one state was always North Carolina.
Yeah.
So I told them that. And ever since then, I bet I've played more shows in North Carolina than I've played anywhere else. And I love it.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I love it. Well, okay. So we will see you this weekend.
Yes, ma'am, Erin. Thank you so much for having me.
Yes. Awesome. Nice to talk to you.
All right. See y'all soon.
Bye.
Bye, y'all.